those that don't know much about the film, in a nutshell, what is The Changed about?
The Changed is about a group of people who have become paranoid over time, and it takes place within a 24-hour period where things have come to a head, and people are barricaded in their house because their friends and neighbors are gathering outside. For what? We need to wait and see to find out.
I mean, in terms of your cast, you work with a couple of people from Diane. But then you also have the inclusion of Claire Foley, who people know from Sinister and Gotham, and Tony Todd, who is obviously Candyman. How did they come on board?
We were really lucky to get Claire Foley, who is actually the top billed star of the film. That was just a fluke. A filmmaker friend of mine named Jeff Riley knows an acting coach who is in New York, and they introduced us. Said, "Hey, by the way, I know Claire Foley. Would you like to meet her?" And I knew her work, and we managed to make a meeting to get together. I didn't even audition her. We just got together and we talked for a couple of hours, I think it was, and I just saw that she was somebody that I could get along with. She liked me, I liked her, and I said, let's try and make a movie together. So the agency part was a little more difficult after that, but we were able to arrange to get her. Tony Todd was a breeze. His manager, Jeff Goldberg, who's a terrific guy, loved the script. Tony loved the script, and we just had to negotiate all the particulars, and he was on board very, very quickly, and a wonderful collaborator as well.
I mean, what is it like to have that presence on set? 'Cause, I mean, not only does he have all of this, massive back catalogue of titles, but he's not a short man. He's a presence when he's on set.
He's a wonderful presence, but you very quickly forget that he's just such a tall and tremendous individual, because he's so kind and he's so down to earth that he puts you at ease very, very quickly. A complete professional, shows up, knows his lines, knows his marks, knows his cues, but such a kind collaborator, not just with me, but with all of the cast. And just, I cannot say enough about Tony Todd. He was, in fact, my very first choice for the role. So when we were kicking it around, we said, let's try and get him. And we got very lucky, and we did.
And what was it like, bringing your Diane cast back together again?
Oh, it's always a blast. I mean, Jason Allen Smith, who's also my partner in Meantime Productions, is one of my very, very best friends in the whole wide world. Carly Avers, Doug Tompos, we had Ryan McCarthy. We had just so many. Oh, Kathy Cyril. I'm so sorry, I forgot them. I neglected to mention Kathy in the previous interviews. So we had people I've been working with for the last 4 films at least. So it was terrific to always get folks back together. And when you have a short shooting schedule and you have so many external factors that you need to worry about, when you know that I can rely on that person, I can rely on that person, it takes all the weight off of my shoulders.
I mean, I think the film has a new resonance now, given, we've all spent the last year locked inside our house, and this is the situation that the characters find in. Have you found yourself sort of going back and viewing it differently?
Well, I think it's absolutely going to resonate in a certain way based on what has happened over the last year. But the odd thing is, I wrote the script about 10 years ago. So what I find most interesting is that a lot of the themes and a lot that's happening in the film resonates in a new way as opposed to 10 years ago. What I really, again, I don't make message movies. I don't want to preach or moralize. But if there's anything I hope people take away from this is maybe to think about, maybe groupthink is not always the best thing, and maybe blind individualism is not always the best thing. But take it from there, and you can determine. I won't tell you what I think, but I want to know what you think.
I mean, obviously, this is out in the world now. Do you know where you're going next? What you're working on?
We don't know where we're going next, which is actually the case after we did Diane. This was our world premiere then. It's our world premiere now, and we submitted to very, very few film festivals with Diane, and we submitted to very, very few with these, but we really ran into some snags because we truly just finished. So we actually missed a bunch of deadlines. So we've got a couple of things coming up. I'd prefer not to say because I don't want to sound like I'm favoring anybody. Any of the festivals that we've applied to, I'd be very happy to get into.
And in terms of film projects?
We have the project that I've been wanting to make since before Diane is a serial killer story titled Meanest Man in the World. And gosh, I've had at least a few filmmakers and a couple concerns try and purchase that script for me. A lot of people who read it say it's one of the best screenplays they've ever read, which is, of course, always very flattering to hear. But I just haven't been able to get it made, and I haven't been able to get it financed. If we have any success from this, that's the film I really would like to make next.
I wish you the best of luck and enjoy the screening.